Today we're going to talk about EB2 NIW. We're going to cover one endeavor that I propose that you don't use because you will get in trouble. And let's see what that endeavor is. Hi, my name is Oscar. I'm a scientist, not a lawyer. In this channel, we talk about green card categories like EB2 NIW and EB1A, where you can self-petition. And that means that you don't need to have a company sponsoring you, you don't need to have a job offer, and you can do it without a lawyer, saving quite a bit of money. Let's talk about today's topic, which is an endeavor that I suggest you avoid. With this, we're going to talk about a couple of failed cases so you learn from them. And I have covered failed cases already in previous videos. Here I have a couple of examples. On the left side and on the right side, you have failed cases from the appeals office. And you can go to those videos, to the one on the left here, also to the one in the right, and you will see my analysis so you can learn from others' mistakes. It's very important to learn from others' mistakes whenever you can, so you have a stronger petition and you have a higher chance of success. In the video on the right, I also show you how you can access that repository of decisions so you can study them at your own pace and find the ones that are more relevant to your profile. I also have another couple of videos. This one here on the left side talks about how you should avoid these two words, labor shortage. Okay, no more cliffhanger. Just go and watch it, but it is extremely important not to make that mistake. And in the examples that I will show you today, even we are not covering this topic today, you will see how people keep making the mistake. On the one on the right side, I'll show you how there's one particular thing that is number one reason for request for evidence, and if you know of it, you will probably have a stronger petition. But today, let's cover an endeavor that is very problematic, and I will tell you why that is, why USCIS doesn't like it, and I'll show you two examples so you can learn from those examples. Stop the cliffhanger, Oscar. Tell us what that endeavor is, and that endeavor is teaching. You probably heard me talking about this in the past. USCIS doesn't really like teaching, and they have their own reasons, and I'll show you what those are. They hate teaching. Hate is a strong word, okay? And they do recognize that it's important. By the way, I am a proponent of the importance of teaching. I don't really agree with everything USCIS says, but I just tell you what you should take into consideration, because at the end of the day, my opinion is not as relevant. What matters is the opinion of the agency. So let's see why USCIS has this issue. They think that teaching by itself, teaching in a classroom, doesn't raise to the level of national importance. Why? Where are they coming from? Well, three words. Matter of Dhanasar. We talked about the matter of Dhanasar. I had a video where I presented what this case was. I analyzed it, the different prongs, and all you have to know in this video is that Dr. Dhanasar was a petitioner like you and me, and he appealed a denial. So he initially was denied. They didn't give the EB2 NIW to him, but then he appealed, and in the appeal he won. The endeavor had two parts, research and teaching. He met the three prongs after the appeal. He met the three prongs for the research activities. It was in aerospace engineering, propulsion, a lot of cool stuff that they were talking about in that appeal. But the teaching portion, even if he was teaching in university level, that didn't really succeed. And here is the details. USCIS says, in addition to conducting research, the petitioner proposes to teach or to conduct teaching activities in science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM. And I talked in the past about how USCIS does like STEM, but in this particular case, STEM associated to teaching, they don't like it so much. While STEM teaching has substantial merit in relation to the US educational interests, the record does not indicate that this would impact the field of STEM education more broadly. Okay, this is very important. They are saying, yes, teaching is important, STEM teaching is important, but teaching only doesn't raise to that level of national importance because you are not impacting the field, you're not impacting the society. You have to show that your work, whatever it is, teaching or anything else, you need to show that that work will impact not only your organization, not only your team, not only your company, but it will have a positive impact beyond that organization. And when you say you are teaching, you are reducing your impact to your students, to your classroom, and if anything, to your school or university. So they want to see more. That's what they are saying here. So let's see what the ramifications, the consequences of this decision had on other real cases. And here is where we start talking about examples. I have 2 examples for you, so stay until the end to see them. This is number 1. I have the case number here, the date, 2021. This is for a physics teacher, and I have a link that I will leave in the description below, so you can just click it, open the PDF, and read the whole thing. Here I'm going to show you the screenshots from the main things that I want to discuss with you today. So here, the introduction of this case, and I highlighted in yellow the number of times that teaching shows up at the beginning. You know, this person taught science from this year to this year in this place. Then she had other activities to promote science teaching. In this year, she taught in a different place. So everything is about teaching. She got a teacher award, education, blah, blah. So the record shows that the petitioner received significant national level accolades. So they are saying, well, this person is well positioned as a teacher. But the national interest waiver is not a reward for past accomplishments. Rather, the waiver recipients are expected to benefit the US in their subsequent employment. The initial submission did not include detailed information about the petitioner's proposed endeavor. That's a mistake that is not really related to teaching. You really need to be clear with your endeavor explanation, and it seems that this person or the lawyer didn't really explain the endeavor properly. On the petition form, the petitioner indicated that the proposed endeavor would be teaching, the proposed employment would be teaching both intermediate and advanced science courses for middle school and or high school. So again, teaching. The endeavor, the occupation is being a teacher. So here USCIS says the substantial merit is not in dispute. They think that teaching has merit. Science education in the abstract is of national importance, but this does not mean that all science teachers are entitled to a blanket exemption from the job offer requirement. So they are saying, in the previous slide, we saw how they said, this person is well positioned, we recognize that, but only being well positioned, only fulfilling prong number 2 is not good enough to get the job offer requirement. You have to have prong 1, national importance, and prong 2, well positioned. Here now, they are saying that even though teaching is important, it doesn't mean that everyone that participates in teaching will get the national interest waiver, the NIW. So after the RFE, more documents were submitted, and basically the petitioner says that her impact goes beyond the local community, that there is a nationwide teacher shortage crisis, particularly in the area of physics. So 2 things here. This person is saying, my impact is beyond my classroom, my community, but we'll see that you not only have to say it, you have to prove it. And second, this person makes the mistake that I covered in that separate video, that they are talking about labor shortage, in this case, teacher shortage, and that's never a good idea for USCIS. They are saying that this person will also participate in professional development of physics teachers, and that's the way that this person will help resolve that labor shortage. However, the criticism here from USCIS is that they provided minimal details about the proposed endeavor beyond teaching. So even if this person says, I will have impact beyond, but you are not telling me the details, so how can I know what that impact is? The petitioner also did not articulate specific plans to write textbooks or work on national level education policy in the US, because they have mentioned that part of that broader impact was through writing books and through working on education policy, it seems that they had some achievements in the past where they wrote books that were important at the national level, but not in a while. So they USCIS says that they only had a local level impact since 2016. So this is important. 2016 to 2021, where when this appeal was released, you see that USCIS really cares about what happened throughout the history, the professional history, especially in the latest years, because you need to show that you have sustained a claim, that you are a person that not only at some point in the past was exceptional, was important in the field, but you have continued having that reputation, that impact in the field. So this is a detail that is good for everyone, not only teachers. All right, so let's see a little bit more. About the shortage of physics teachers in this state, we agree with the director that the labor certification process exists to address such shortages. That's what I was talking in that separate video. They don't like this reasoning because there are other mechanisms that the US government can have to resolve a labor shortage. The petitioner's own work as a science teacher would not effectively affect the overall shortage. So yes, there is a shortage, but you as an individual will not help us resolve it. Even if there is some training that they will do on teachers, they didn't explain how that work will resolve the issue. So it's really hard to convince the USCIS that you're going to effectively solve or help solving a labor shortage problem. That's why I recommend not getting in there at all, okay? In denying the petition, the director concluded that the petitioner's specific endeavor is benefiting the lives of the student at the local level or in the school district where she teaches, but it has not been established that the benefit would be at the national level. So again, we're talking about broader impacts and why this person hasn't proved that teaching in the classroom will affect people at the national level, will affect the society, will have broader impacts beyond the local level, beyond the district where this school operates. All right, so that's example number one. Now we're going to move to example number two, but first, let's talk about this Danazar reference. Not only they provided all this analysis, they say that they are basing pretty much everything on the Danazar decision. So here they say, science education is important, but in Danazar, we told you that the activities of one science teacher do not raise to the level of national importance. Okay, so again, this is why Danazar was so negative for teachers overall. So before getting to example two, let's talk about these two websites, particularly the one on the right side. If you're serious about EB2 NIW and you want to prepare the case by yourself as a do-it-yourself DIY petitioner, check out this website with a lot of resources. This is my website. I put it together plenty of time ago. It has been growing. It has more and more content, more than ever. And above all, I recommend to check out my online courses. This is the curriculum for the EB2 NIW course, where I will show you everything you need to know to put together your case. You have my sample petition, my real petition. You are going to see all these video lectures that are in different modules. Each of these modules has multiple video lectures in English and in Spanish. You can submit questions, and I'll show you how to put together the petition cover letter, a professional plan, or a business plan if you are an entrepreneur. And now, once a month, we meet in live sessions. So we'll meet face to face if you want to come and ask questions. I'll have a little lecture that I will give, and then we'll have Q&A. We'll meet each other, and we'll keep building this community. So let's now continue with example number two. Again, I provide a case number, date, and I'll provide a link in the description below. This is a teacher, not a physics teacher anymore. It's an ESL, English as Second Language teacher. So in this case, The endeavor is to be a language teacher working with children for whom English is a second language. As an RFE came, the RFE was responded saying that, well, basically saying the same thing, that this person will work as an ESL teacher. In the appeal, after this person got the denial, again, they said the endeavor is to work as a second language teacher, specifically seeking to provide English as second language and also Portuguese in school, teaching Portuguese in school. So it got a little bit wider, but it's still around teaching, it's still about teaching languages. So not a lot of change, which is fine because you shouldn't change your endeavor too much, but I think this endeavor was doomed from the beginning. So the petitioner argues that her proposed work as a public school teacher would broadly enhance societal welfare and cultural enrichment, but she does not offer specific examples of that impact. Again, here the keywords are, one more time, broader impacts. In this case, impact. If you say something, you have to show. If you say you will have impact beyond the local level, you have to show what that impact is. You have to explain, you have to quantify it. You cannot just say it. Your word is not good enough, unfortunately. This person makes the same mistake as the other. They say there is a shortage in teaching, severe shortage of teachers. The petitioner offered articles to argue that Florida faces a shortage of ESL teachers, and this reported shortage does not render the work of an individual teacher nationally important under the DANASAR framework. So again, they use DANASAR. They love using DANASAR whenever they can. So this is one good example. Second case, second direct reference to DANASAR saying, the teacher of the work of one teacher alone will never raise to the level of national importance when it comes to labor shortage. Okay, you will not solve the problem by yourself. So you need to show wider implications in ESL or in education. So here USCIS is offering a path for teachers, and I'll discuss that in the last slide. Here they are saying, look, teaching is not impossible to get an approval, but you need to show those implications beyond the classroom. So the record does not demonstrate that the petitioner's proposed teaching activities offer benefits beyond the particular school that impact the field of education more broadly. That's why the petitioner's proposed work does not meet the first prong of the DANASAR framework. So this is why the petition was denied. So let's get into the conclusions. I'm sure you want to hear what is my opinion about all this. So in my opinion, it is very wise to stay away from pure teaching endeavors. And here is the keyword, pure teaching endeavors. So you may be able to do something different, and now I'm going to explain what that is. But if all your strategy is centered around teaching in a classroom, I say this is not the category for you. Don't go for EB2 NIW. Save time, save money, and save all the motivation that you're going to invest here, and find another immigration route if you want to come to the US. All right? So, but is it all lost? No. If you can, stay away. That's my recommendation. But if your profile is strong enough in two areas, in teaching and something else, use that something else. For example, research. And we go back to DANASAR. DANASAR was a researcher and a teacher. He used both, but he only got the approval because of research. So if that's your case, focus on that, focus on your scientisty endeavor, and almost ignore teaching. Now, it may be teaching and community engagement, or you can build curriculum for other teachers across the nation. You may be developing novel methodologies for teaching. So those are things now that are escaping that classroom label. And that would be a much better way for you to frame everything. Now, I know for a fact that USCIS still will scan your petition, and when they encounter teaching, they are going to try to issue the RFE. Especially, we know that some agents, they don't do a very thorough job, and they will see those keywords and they will give you a hard time. Maybe not everyone, right? But if you can frame things without using the word teaching at all, use maybe education instead of teaching. This is getting a little bit into the details, but I would try to avoid the word teaching as much as I can, because I know how they skim through things and they detect certain words, and those are red flags for them. Also, don't get me wrong. Everything I said doesn't mean that your endeavor, if it has a portion of teaching, will absolutely fail, even if it's all about teaching. First of all, USCIS makes mistakes, so they may adjudicate your case and they may ignore Danasar. That could happen, but it's about probabilities and risk. The risk of getting an RFE and a denial is too high. So that's why I'm trying to open your eyes and make you pivot away from this teaching endeavor. Or if you are a teacher, you may be wondering, well, Oscar, but I'm a teacher, I teach in classrooms, what can I do? Well, you need to find a way to prove that broader impact. We saw it in the two examples. They need to know how you will impact not only your students, not only your classroom, your school, or even your district. You need to show what else you will do. And that goes to what I was saying earlier about research or about other activities that you can really focus your endeavor on that will prove that you will not only teach in a classroom. If possible, again, don't even say that you will teach in a classroom, because this will not be good for your case. But as usual, you have to be truthful. So if that is what you will do, maybe this category is not the best for you. What did you think about this? What is your opinion? Have you seen more cases like this ones? Drop a comment below and let me know. And as usual, I will see you here one more week, every week, talking about EB2 NIW or EB1A. And I wish you good luck in this EB2 NIW green card petitioner. Thank you.